Okay, so Billy, what is religion to you?
Religion is pretty much a way to keep everybody in check. That's the way I view it. I think to me, I'm not always following my religion 100%, but I try to stay pretty fairly close and follow everything in the religion of Islam, because I'm Muslim.
Okay, how did you come across your faith, or were you just like brought into it?
My whole family is pretty much all Muslims. So I guess at a young age I was introduced to religion from anywhere from my brothers and sisters all the way to like my grandparents, aunts and uncles and cousins. So that's how I was kind of brought to it.
Do you feel that your religion is good for you?
I think it's really good because I think all religions are pretty good because they kind of let you look forward to something and they keep your morals in check and not having you act like a crazy person and believing that you're supposed to respect others and treat others the way you want to be treated.
Alright, what positive and negative effects has your religion had on you?
Positive effects, I think I'm a better person. I've been trying, to be a little more religious, and I think the fact that me trying makes me better and not do as many quote-unquote bad things. The negative effects, the only negative effects, I think it's not really me personally. I think it's the outside world, particularly in Islam. Many people view it as a very bad religion because extremist and terrorist. So they think that most Muslim people are crazy or bad people, and that's just not the case.
Right, and you know how you guys fast? Do you feel like that's like a negative thing on yourself, like as health, or is it just like a struggle that you have to overcome like yourself?
Well, fasting, obviously health-wise it's not really the best thing to do, but it's kind of makes me, at least personally, appreciate what I have. It definitely makes me more disciplined. I think because I had to play basketball throughout my 4 years of high school, and it really made me disciplined and I think very strong-minded and doing other things.
Okay, and you kind of said this earlier, but how do your beliefs in your religion affect like your everyday life and character?
Honestly, I think it affects me not on what I'm making it, how it affects me from my own doing. I think mostly from outsiders' views of me as being a Muslim and being Arabic. Many people that don't know me might think negative thoughts of me. But personally, I think it keeps me grounded. Before I do anything wrong or against the religion, I might think twice before I do it. So.
Okay, thanks. Right.
A few questions here. We're wondering, who's God to you?
God is my Heavenly Father, creator of the universe, but for some reason decided to have a relationship with me and the people of the earth. So, and he did it in such a way that a father would create a child and love that child. That's the best thing I think I could tell you about God. You don't want a long answer.
The next one is, how did you find God?
Pretty much was taught about God all my life. I count myself very fortunate to be able to have had the opportunity to grow up in a home where my parents taught me about God. And I think my understanding of God has obviously morphed along the way, and I know more about Him now than I did before. And then there's that whole issue of the more you know or you think you know about God, the more you realize you don't know about God, because He's, impossible for us to understand. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And the more you know the things of God, the more out there He seems, but at the same time, the more in here He seems. So I've known about God all my life. I've had different times along the way in my life where I think He made Himself known to me in different ways, largely like when I was your guys' age. Through some experiences that I had, I really felt like God made Himself known to me, and I think He does that at different stages along the way, and He helps us at different points along the way. And then, like I even said in my sermon last weekend, when I became a father, it helped me to understand who God is as a father a little bit more. Longer answer.
That's okay.
Has God changed your life?
Every day, God has changed my life. God has given me things that I need. God has helped me through things that I didn't want. And God has taken me through places that if He hadn't taken me there, I would not be the person that I am today. That's the top of my head, but that's the truth of it all. I'm here because God has blessed me, and I really believe God has called me here. I'm not, and not just in this period of time, but even in this actual place, even in the house that we live in the Lincoln Way school system, even in all of those things. I believe that God has called me to each one of those places, but every day it's a new thing with me and God, and I think that God has changed my life because He called me, and I answered His call, and He allowed it to go where He wanted it to go. And like I said, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's hard, but that's what good fathers do.
This is like kind of stemming off the same thing, but this is like the main point we want to get to.
All right.
Is what does God do for you in your daily life?
Okay.
That changes
Like, how does do you feel like religion brings it comes out in your character?
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Okay.
shows you,
yeah.
Okay.
How you
All right. Daily life character stuff. I think that totally depends on me. And I believe that's what most of the Bible was written for and written about, was God is always there pursuing a relationship with me, and God always wants me to be the person that He wants me to be. I'll keep coming back to this fatherhood thing, but like a good dad, He always comes back to, I really want you to be this person. I really want you to do this. And at whatever point I, as His child, listen to Him, it influences me. It influences my character. It makes me who I ought to be, and causes me to not do the things I shouldn't do and to do the things that I should do at every point. But that's really more about me listening than it is about God doing, because I believe God is always there, always doing those things. And in my periods of time when I listened to God and I did what God wanted me to, even though sometimes that was harder, my character was what it ought to be. And in those times that I don't listen to God and I do my own thing and I'm selfish and whatever else, those are the times when He doesn't affect my character. But it's not because of Him, it's because of me. So most of the Bible is written to us to help us to realize that we need to, not because it's going to save us, but if we want to be like God, if we want to be the people that He wants us to be, like my children would say, I want to be who my parents want me to be because they know best for me. If I want to do that with my Heavenly Father, then it's about me walking with Him every day. It's about me doing the things that I need to do every day. And that's most of the Bible is, especially the New Testament, is the Gospels are stories about Jesus intersecting with people's lives and helping to shape their character, and then the whole rest of it are basically letters to churches to help them to develop their character and help them to be who they ought to be. So, I think it certainly isn't about whether God changes my character or not. It's whether I allow God to affect my character.
Right, so it's more like a self-struggle than being like you struggle more knowing that it's the right thing, but God isn't the one who's changing it for you. You're the one who has to do it yourself.
Right. But God will help me to change it. I don't want to say that it's all up to me. It's up to me to listen. It's up to me to know God's Spirit inside of me. We can't ever be the people that we ought to be without God's Spirit. It's fruitless to try to be a holy person without the Spirit of God inside of me. But I have to want that.
Right. All right.